Hello everyone, welcome back to more 5D chess with multiverse time travel. I think we're just gonna get started here. I don't have a lot to say here. I don't know. I guess some of you... This is by far the most popular series currently running on my channel, and so... I guess the fact that there wasn't an episode yesterday is something people might have noticed, but I don't know. I think people are mostly finding this from Google search anyway, so who cares, right? But I'm going to be alternating this with my Terra Mystica series for at least a little while. I don't know still how long I'm really going to stick around playing this. Let's actually try, let's try one of the timeline games again. We tried Tactician. What was Formations? Oh, yeah, I don't know. These all suck. Anyway, I don't know how long I'm going to keep playing this, but it seems fun. People are enjoying it, so why not, right? And I'm still learning things just about every game, I think. I played a game off camera where I just got absolutely demolished out of nowhere. I at some point I developed my pawn, a pawn here to make room for castling, and then I castled. And then oh no, I developed I pushed this pawn. I put my bishop in on the very next move, so there wasn't like a big long line. And I did some other stuff, and I castled, and then white moved the bishop here, and it was like, checkmate. There's like, oh yeah, there was one turn where this was empty, and you just move there at the right time, and I'm dead. So I don't know. I hate moving center pawns. They're the worst. Or anyway, these three, because they give you diagonals and the file checks. I guess we'll start with a knight, and we want this one since it can't be so easily kicked. And as I've said many times in this series, I am not a good chess player. I have wow, this seems like a, So there's a serious threat from me. White has a defense to it, but I can threaten to move here, attacking the queen and the king. The queen has to run, and then I move here, attacking the king and the rook. Great, right? I fork them both, and I pick up the rook. But I also deny white castling rights for what that's worth. And I maybe threaten some big checks actually against the king in some universes. Like if I land here and then go back in time to pick up this bishop, I might hurt the king. The problem is the white does have defense to this. If you move the queen like here, for example, she's no longer being checked, and she's defending this key square. And even worse, she's attacking my knight. So I don't think I want to start on this yet, but I may want to try to do something to prepare for such a play. For example, get a bishop here to guard my knight on this space. To make this threat a little bit harder to dodge. What's that all about? Your king's looking pretty naked right now, isn't he? Now oh my god. So white has to move queen to here or here, right? There's this, the queen's under attack, this fork is under attack, and this bishop is unprotected. The queen can defend against that by moving to defend all three of those threats by moving to one of these two white spaces. But it's like, man, you are really putting yourself in a pickle here. And my knight is going to continue to be a nuisance for a while, hopefully. I don't know, I guess you could just kick it with this pawn. Oh well. You're going to kick it with a knight. Sure. Now, just how far back in time could this knight go if I want? Could I get him to do anything interesting in another timeline? Not really, right? And it would leave me pretty sad on this board, in fact. So, I don't know. I'm thinking I might try to keep this knight in place. Like, pawn here. You can pick him up anyway with your knight if you want. But then I get a fairly well-advanced pawn who can provide a good defense for some pieces up in White's territory, maybe? I don't know. What else could I do? I could just cash in, grab the bishop, but I feel like knights are better than bishops in 5-dimensional chess. They can do so many sneaky things. I kind of like this because it not only like defends against White's threat, but it opens up my queen's eyes, right? She can kind of get out there. So it helps me develop, sure. Yeah, I think it was very sensible for White to make that trade. My knight was definitely better than his, but I still have this pawn, which I hope to be a menace with. I mean, White's king has been exposed for a long time, right? I'd really like to find some way to threaten him across multiple timelines, or anyway into the past. But I don't really see much of anything. I could play queen to, what is this, b6? But it's not really attacking this bishop, right? It's just like, you know, I don't want to throw my queen at this bishop, so it's a fake threat. The other thing I might try is developing this knight so that I get another piece into the battle and also gain the ability to castle. I don't know if I would want to castle at the moment. Maybe I start here and try to get this bishop and this knight to align on this pawn, and I can maybe then push this guy for a third attacker, which will be kind of hard for White to deal with. Maybe I can win a pawn here. I think that's kind of setting my sights too low in 5D chess. Like, winning a pawn is not that exciting compared to like in normal chess, where if you win a pawn and you're roughly equal strength, you're in very good shape. Here it's about finding a timeline where you're sufficiently advantaged. What's the queen doing over here? Like, suppose that I just make a passing move. Where is this queen allowed to go? I mean, okay, first of all, she can go back to, like, here, which is a pretty powerful spot to be. But nothing else looks that appealing to me. So I'm not sure what she's up to. I don't see anything much in this dimension, and I don't see anything much in the past. She's not coordinating with any of White's other pieces. Weird. Is she trying to stop me from queen here? Maybe. Well, let's get back to work on that pawn, I think. Queen's back guarding the pawn, sure. But if I add another attacker to the pawn, then suddenly the queen is not really defending it at all. Because I would be happy to trade a bishop and a knight for this pawn, right? So White actually has to defend this with a pawn to discourage me. I don't think that's such a burden for White. In fact, White would be maybe happy to develop this pawn. Maybe not, though. Because it does open another line to the king, and my queen is not so far away from getting here. I'd kind of like to find some way to make use of the 5-dimensional nature of this game, right? We're still playing in 1 dimension, and I feel as though at some point in the nearish future, hang on. I feel as though at some point in the nearish future, a queen will just checkmate me in the past, and I'll be like, oh, that was a surprise. I'm worried about this space because, like, okay, again, let's say I make a passing move. Okay, that's an illegal passing move, so let's not do that one. But say I go here. This queen is starting to eye up this pawn long in the past. And the only piece that's defending this space is a king. So, right, she could go here. If I come up with my king to take, then my king will be very exposed to other checks. So that seems pretty scary. But I'm not altogether sure what I'm supposed to do about it. Yeah, I just feel in bad shape this game, actually. It's not like I can attack. I can take this king, the queen this turn. And if I wait till next turn, she can just jump into the past, and I'm going to be in that awkward position I was discussing, right? The queen will arrive here. I'll have to take with my king, and then this queen will not be too far away from finding a way to checkmate. Or something? I don't know. I'm not sure of the details, but it feels very scary. I guess what I should maybe do is prepare a piece to go very far back in time myself. I believe that this space is the very first move that I freed up. So if I put a queen here, I can send her back in time next turn all the way to the beginning of the game and have some time to get around to blocking the queen in white's timeline here. So this is my like response to white's threat, I think. It's not great. Let me just confirm again, how far back can this queen go? She gets to here, and I still have like 5 moves to navigate stuff before then. And in particular, if I can just get to a timeline, a different timeline that's also on turn 6, I can just have this bishop hop over. Oh no, because that's 2 timelines away. Well, whatever. I'll figure something out. So this seems like my plan. I'm going to try and send this queen pretty far back in the past. Not going for it. The thing is, I actually have to pull the trigger now, I think. Because starting next turn, this will no longer be a valid way to go very far back in the past. And I'm still under a very serious threat from this queen, I think. So let's just go like, is there an earlier time or a less far back time I could send her that would be appealing? Like, the only other real option would be here. No. Like, here I get captured, here I get captured. Here, I don't seem to be doing much of anything, and I'm giving up on the ability to recapture a knight, but it seems worth considering, I suppose. If I could make a battery of queens along this diagonal, I can afford to throw one away, sacrifice one to get this rook, and then just step in here and checkmate a passed king. But it doesn't actually get me very far back. In terms of my ability to combat a threat on this square in front of my king. So I think I'll just go all the way back and see what I can do with this. With this extra queen. Oh my god, are you going to make me watch this? She's going through so many boards, please. The escape button doesn't do anything. Alright, next time maybe I'll remember to submit a fake time travel move that's not as far back in the past before I go very far. Also of note, the king in this timeline is very vulnerable to my queens. So if I can like land a queen here at almost any time, I win. Well, no, that's not quite true, is it? Because if I want to go 4 turns... Oh, right, of course it is. I don't want to go 4 turns back in the past. I want to go 0 turns back in the past and 1 dimension over. Ah, yes, 1 dimension over. That's the problem. I can't just go 1 dimension over if I'm going 4 ranks up. So the queens in this dimension actually are not that much of a threat to kings over there, unless I approach through like this bishop or something. I guess even then they're not really, right? Okay, well, let's do this. All right. I mean, I believe I only have 1 legal move, which is to take with the king, but let's double check. Yeah. Okay, I take with the king. Now I have a fairly vulnerable king here. Oh no. Oh no! This is going to make it even easier for a queen in this dimension to checkmate me. No. Because when she goes back, she'll be going to a new timeline, not to this one. She's going to have a tough time getting over here, I think. Okay. So I just have to take my material advantage on this board and try to turn it into something. This knight sucks. I want him to go away. Because this pawn would let me get both of my queens out in a way that coordinates on this space. Seems pretty cool. I do have to be super careful about my king, of course. Like, in particular, this light square bishop or these knights can get a pretty good beat on him. Ugh, I feel like I'm losing this game. This knight, if given a couple moves, can checkmate me, I think. He'll land here 1 turn in the past, basically. At some point. And so I guess that means I need to develop a pawn to deflect that early, so that when he does land there, I can take him. And if I wait until he starts moving the knight, then when he goes in the past, my pawn won't have moved, so okay. Bishop? That seems pretty bad, doesn't it? What is this all about? Are you just trying to stall me for some reason? From what? I don't understand what's going on here. I'm not sure how to prioritize, like, defending. Okay, so let's look at this queen, by the way. Where, if she wanted to go back very far, suppose she went like here, right? She would be starting a new timeline that would be right here. So I'd have to find a way to handle a queen on this space on a board here. One approach, of course... Actually, my knight just handles that. He can go 2 timelines up and 1 rank up. So... that seems fine. I just have to not touch this knight, I think. And I'm protected against that future queen. I don't really care about this bishop. You do whatever you want, dude. Right? Yeah, there's not any past kings being threatened by this, I don't think. So it's just a question of how do I develop. And I think getting a queen out is pretty good. What if I went all the way here? Is that good? It seems better. Oh yeah, it's way better. Oh my god. Because I'm attacking this knight, which like doesn't matter that much unless I can coordinate on him. But I'm also attacking this pawn, which is like a checkmate square. So this is a very, very serious threat. White has to do something about this immediately. Probably just push a pawn, but we'll see. Sack a knight. Okay, that doesn't seem like it actually resolves the problem. Just delays it a bit. I'll take your knight and still threaten this checkmate. Now you're defending there. This queen I sent back has done absolutely nothing, by the way. Which feels a bit silly. The move that jumps out at me, of course, is this. Threatening to take the knight and deflect the protector of this square. But it's so easy for white to reinforce with a pawn as well that I'm like... In fact, defending like this would have been way better, I think. Because it both defends the pawn and also attacks the queen. I think what I really need to do is like get more attackers into the area somehow. But I don't see a good way to do that. Like, I guess this knight, but I've said I want to leave him alone. Oh, you know, this bishop here is making a serious threat as well. Now we're coordinating on this pawn. Problem is, white can just push the pawn. But, you know, that bought me some time. I got a bishop involved, and white just had to make more defensive moves. Eventually, hopefully, I can reach some critical mass. The other thing I guess I could do would be this. Threatening this fork. And also threatening to maybe somehow support a queen on this square. It's defended by the bishop, though. I think that since it's so easy for white to just kind of ignore this threat, just push this pawn and make me sad, I don't think I should do that. I think I should get this knight involved and make another threat. We're getting close to the present again, or the future, I guess. I don't like that this bishop is defending both of these spaces. I think I made a mistake by allowing that. I want to get this queen out there, but like, it's hard. Okay, let's get a pawn going and form this battery I was talking about over here. Now that white's devoted a bunch of pieces to the queen side, we can maybe get the king side attack going. Although, can I though? Yeah, because this space is defended by my knight, this is the space a bishop might land on and checkmate me in the past, and I'm defending it. The knight has retreated. What? That seems very bad. I think we have a very, very strong attack here. I'm not sure if it arrives in time. But this is the idea. I'm threatening mate in 1, and I don't see a way for white to do anything about it on this board. So we just have to survive whatever crazy time travel white does on this board next, I think. I have to remember, by the way, to move here, not here, because that way this rook can't step back and snip me. Time travel on this board? You sent your knight back to your bishop back to take my knight? Isn't that literally insane? It just gives me like immediate checkmate on this board, right? You failed to retake my queen and instead retook a knight and sacrificed your turn on this board. Like, this is just GG, right? I come over and I take this king? No, I actually... He's too many timelines away. Right? So... Here's a funny thought. So, one thing I could do on this board is this, right? That checks this king, and in fact, also, more importantly, checks like this king. And since nobody can easily take this queen on this board... Oh, this king can. No, he can't. He's 2 spaces away, dummy. Nobody can attack the queen on this board, so this is checkmate as soon as we advance past this board. But I think I can do better. If I go here instead, I'm allowed to create a new timeline because white has done so over here already. Then, not only is this queen checking this king, but this queen is checking this king. So actually white is in check on all 3 boards. And also somewhere in the past, probably. Right? So, isn't it like impossible to do any good time travel anywhere? For white, if I do this? Like on this board, you're in immediate check. You can block with the bishop, but if you do, this queen will take this king. Now, I guess this king could run away, but if he does, then this queen will take this king. So this king has to run away. And that leaves this as the only board you can make a proactive action on. And you don't really have any big time travel going on. And if you make too many moves like this, I'll start having attacks on you in the past, not just in alternate timelines. Right? I'm kind of annoyed that I can't get to this king, because he's the only one who's not allowed to move. Is there some way I could do that? Like, if I just go here, then I am attacking this king, which is, I guess, whatever. But the problem is then what? Then white is kind of free on this board, which I'm not very happy with. I don't want this queen coming all the way down here to check me. And I think my recollection is... Oh, well, you know what? I was going here. But what if I went, like, I don't know, to one of these two spaces? Does that make any difference? Oh, I'm also attacking some kings in the past here, aren't I? Like in alternate timelines and past. So I think actually something like this looks like it's checkmate, because I'll have a board here, right? I'll be allowed to move right 1, to move 2 steps in the following 3 dimensions: to the right in file, to the past in time, and up in timeline, which will lead me to this king. So I am attacking someone in the past who can't escape with this queen. Nobody can immediately capture this queen, and so all I need to do is keep white busy on a bunch of boards. And importantly, this is a board on which I am also keeping white busy with this queen. So you're in check. You can't just send your queen back in time like you were threatening to do forever ago. I think this is... I don't know if this is checkmate, but it's very, very good. I lose. This fucking game. Oh, man. All right, what happened here? You sent your knight back. Creating a timeline where this queen is active. Oh my god. What? So, okay, this queen is attacking... I guess it must be the king all the way on the bottom? Yeah. So all white needed to do was make any new timeline on this board to checkmate me. It didn't matter what move he made, just any move. So if instead of stepping into the past with this queen, I could have stepped here to deflect that possibility. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's not that it didn't matter which move. It had to be into a timeline when there was a queen standing here, right? Which... I mean... Could this board have done it? Yeah. White was... Oh, no, well, I put white in check on this board, so you couldn't have. Right, you can't just, like, send this bishop back in time 1 space or something. Because I'll take your... I'll take this king. I'm not sure. I wish I could, like... I wish this game had more, like, an analyze mode, the way Prismata does, right? So I could say, okay, yes, I understand that I lost. Please let me, like... I want to undo and, like, see what would have happened if I had done things differently. Because it's so hard to visualize everything. And you just can't interact with anything after the game's over. Can you? What's this button do? I don't know. It's a mystery. It can be white, or it can be a spinning gray pinwheel? I have no idea what it does. So, I don't know. What if I tried something less ambitious? And instead of sending this queen back, if I just, like, delivered a check here with this knight. Then, of course, you can't retreat with that knight. But then I don't have this queen making any checkmate threats. Right? This board doesn't exist. What threats is white still dealing with in that universe? Mostly just this queen threatening this king in the present. Nothing else is really going on. Oh, is there though? What if, is she going back this way? No, there's no timelines down here at all. Although, I guess if I didn't send this queen back in time, I could have sent this one into, like, the past of a different dimension. Right? Instead of having her grab this rook now, I could step over here and grab a past rook. But then there'd still be a rook here, and he could go across timelines and capture me. Huh. I don't know. This seemed like... It seemed so airtight, and then a knight just, like, appeared out of nowhere. And the knight didn't even matter. He was just, like, creating a copy of a timeline that was more conveniently situated. What a game, huh? Well, good game, computer. You got me yet again. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.